Okay, let's start with Friday's trades, current positions, watch list for Monday, and notable breakouts on Friday. So the market gonna gap down and rebounded sharply, and that also reflected in a lot of my current positions and in the stocks in my watch list. One of them was Wix, just gap down, rebounded very strongly. Now Goal, I got bought in on Friday. I would have preferred to hold this position for another week or so. I really thought the 25 area was coming, but again I got bought in. So INSY, I covered it a little bit more, showed some weakness, never really rebounded. So I think it could go down another 50 cents a dollar this week, or actually the next week, since it's Sunday today. So let's see, UVXY. Since the market rebounded, the UVXY went lower. I shorted it on the opening range lows here in the 23.40 area, and I was using the highs as my stops, about 40 cent stop, and just sold off the whole day. So Kala didn't do anything, Pola didn't do anything, Pixelworks, let's see, how does this one look? Yeah, it's just holding up. So IMGN, actually it stopped me out of my position from Friday. It stopped me out at 255, went to 251 and rebounded. I kinda chased it a little bit, actually a lot. I bought back my position, big chase. Should not have done it, but whatever. I bought it back at 270 and using this 255 as my stop again. I really think it can go higher, obviously, since I wouldn't have bought it anyways. So let's see, CTRL held up. So remember, this one was really strong on Thursday when the markets were really weak. AMD just holding up here, not really doing anything. Again, this could still be a great long setup if it keeps going sideways. GNC got stopped out. I bought it on Friday. I ended up losing like 1200 on it. Stopped out here at 853, I think, or 854. It was a little bit of a chase setup anyways. I really hoped that this thing would go to 10 in a straight line, but it didn't. I think go sideways for another week. That would be nice to get another long setup. CMBX. This one I covered my short from early, or actually from 2 weeks ago. I covered it for a little profit, and then I tried the rebound. I'll be talking about the potential bounce in this one. I tried it here I bought it on the dip here actually, 248 I think. And then it kind of stopped me out. In hindsight, it made another higher low and another higher low. But, I was looking at it, looked like shit. I thought it was gonna go down to sub 2. And then it just rebounded late day, and I was really hoping for more downside on it. I was really hoping for a bounce on Monday, but it is what it is. Same thing on MNTR. I bought it somewhere here. Where did I buy it? 220, mid 220s or high 220s, and then it just stopped me out here and it rebounded into the close, unfortunately. So ICHR just going sideways for now. CLVS, again, I'm looking to cover it at the rising 50-day or break even. What's this in there? So my entry is $62. I'm probably gonna use like 61 as my stop and this 54 area as my target. Now, AXDX had some news. They got approval for their bacteria test kits or whatever these things are, assays. And I thought it was really good news, and this is an extremely highly shorted stock. Insiders own 46% of the company, and it has a 32% of the float is short. 36 days to cover the short float. So I thought with this good news and the other metrics, this thing could have a potentially explosive, it could be a potential explosive mix, but I was dead wrong and it just faded off. I bought it here near the open. I was looking at on the opening range highs, but it never got there, and then just put in a big red candle and I stopped out. But this is one to keep on watch. If it sets up, it could be nice. So Shopify, I'm not really excited about this one. I actually shorted it like first minute after the open, and then it just kind of tanked a bit, went higher, and then just went sideways for the rest of the day. You know, I wanted to be there just in case the market would keep on selling off, because these extended stocks are prime targets when the markets are selling off after an extended run. These things can pull back sharply, but you know, markets held on really well. Like the SPYs are almost at all-time highs. IWM is a bit weaker, but still looks great, just sitting on support in a rising uptrend. Nasdaq looks great. Biotechs are a bit weaker, but they also had big bounces on Friday, so you know, I was talking about being cautious on the long side on Thursday and Friday, and I don't know, the market is just really strong. Even though some stocks and sectors pulled back really sharply, there were other stocks and sectors just taking over, and you know, there is buying pressure. AAY at great earnings. Now the real entry would have been on the pre-announcement here. This is probably one of the trades I regret most of not taking this year, because you know, even a few thousand shares back on this day, or I would probably have bought more but than a few thousand shares, but even a few thousand shares would have added up pretty nicely. So buying at opening range highs on Friday was a little bit of a chase, even though it can very easily go to 60 or something. The earnings are just super, guidance is enormous, and just could keep going. UCTT, same thing. Pre-announcement day was the day to buy it. Again, I bought it on Thursday, lost a bit money on it, because it actually looked really shit at one point in the day. I was about to take out the lows of the day, and then on Friday it just took out these highs. I bought it using this Thursday lows as my stop. Can keep going to high teens or something. Nvidia, there was no reason for me to trade it at all. Just, I don't know, I tried to short it a couple of times and just pissed away money. There was really no setup there. I was just randomly shorting it. Just 2,500 pissed away. MTR I talked about. Square had some great earnings, recent IPO, range break. I'm kind of keeping an eye on it. It looks good. Maybe if it takes out the Thursday highs and then use like a 50-cent stop, could be good. Okay, so those were the trades and positions. Let's look at the watch list. So Dries, Kalani has sold, I think they have sold a quarter or a third or what they are going to sell. So they gave them 24 months. They've already sold like a third or a quarter in like 4 or 5 sessions. They're very aggressive in selling, which reflects in the chart. And I think it could go down even more. I think this thing belongs to... I think if they keep selling as aggressively as they have, done last week, or this week since it's Sunday. I think this thing goes to sub 1. So I'm actually looking for short in this thing. Maybe below this 213 area and then use this 245, 250 area as my stop. The borrow is probably really expensive, so I'll see about that one. Now Tesla, I'm looking for any kind of pops to this low 260 area, the initial potential short in it. Nvidia pops to maybe 105 area, 104, 105 area to initiate the short. CLF maybe this 11, low mid 11 area. Malsi, this is kind of straight up. Hopefully keeps going higher to 100 plus, but again, I always like to have both longs and shorts. So this is another little bit extended, starting to get extended from the moving averages, which means it's getting vulnerable for a pullback. And Cheo, the same thing. Just keeping an eye on these. I don't think they're there yet, but it's always nice to keep them on watch in case the market gets shaky again. These things can give back, a week, 2, 3 weeks of upside in a few days. So look at the long watch list of BIUC microcap looks starting to build a range here over this 218 area. Preferably go sideways a few more days. Or doesn't look special, but if it has a big volume breakout from this range, could be interesting. Salt. Most of these setups need at least 2-3 days to be great, but some of them are pretty good looking already. Again, most of these are just have held up from the Thursday sell-off really nicely. Most of these didn't even go down on Thursday. So they look kind of these. Now this one is not a traditional setup for me, but I think if it breaks this 980 area, I could use like a 30-cent stop potentially. This thing could go to 11, 12 very easily. Super beaten down. Let's look at the weekly chart. Just why can't it go to 11, 12? Could very easily do it. INAP, probably gonna set an alert on it. This one is just really thin. This one looks good over this 125, 124 area. Preferably a few more days, but it just looks really good. Very easy to go to 152 bucks once it gets going. This one, another OTC, I think it's a paid pump or something. But more weakness, like gap down, washout on Monday to this high mid ones, could have a nice 50-cent rebound intraday. So looking for that. And TR, not really looking for a bounce anymore. It already bounced from the support area here. Maybe look for a re-short entry if it gets to low mid threes. EMES missed the short on Thursday. Now I'm looking for a potential bounce setup on this 50-day rising moving average area. CMBX also already bounced. If you can get back to 4 area, maybe a re-short there. STR just setting an alert on it, and this one I may buy it at the open. They had some good news. Yeah, it's probably gonna be a sell then use scenario, but this is already so extended. But who knows? It could surprise. So if I can find a very, very low risk setup, that would be awesome. Okay, so let's look at the breakouts on Friday. They had an upgrade, very beaten down recent biotech IPO, very thin. Had some earnings, high short interest. Had some earnings, high short interest, really nice little multi-month lag break. They had some really good earnings, nice little breakout. I may actually buy it over that 41 area. They had decent earnings, just really didn't do much. Still inside of this range, which isn't really a sign of strength. This thing tried to break out, not really a great setup. That's some volume, could keep going. I don't know why I have these ones. This one, not really a great setup. Another earnings breakout. This one got added to the S&P 500. Usually not much follow through on those scans. Other earnings. URA, I missed this one. I covered everything on Friday, or my last shares on Friday, as you know. There actually was a long setup here, intraday. This thing very easy to bounce back to like mid 17s or maybe even $80. May even be a dip buy. You know what? If the overall market gaps down and well, I don't know if it's gonna rebound, but if it gaps down, I'll keep an eye on it. Maybe I can dip buy it in the 1650s or something, and then use like a, I don't know, 40 40 cent stop. This thing had a really good earnings. It extended, but took out the range here and could keep going. Wish you are tried to break out, but kind of fell back into the range. This thing has earnings in a few days, but looks good. This one had a great long setup, opening range highs here. I just missed it because I had so many other things to look at. I was really hoping for this thing to touch the 50-day. This one tried to break out, reversed end of day. So doesn't look really good. This one I already in. OREX tried to bounce a bit. Okay, so that's it.